So today we're going to take a look at a scenario where civilization starts over. In the last, we're now on episode 25, and in the last episode we saw World War I start. And these are the current front lines. I'm going to make this little recap thing I do at the start of every video quick today, because we gotta continue World War I, because it's World War I. We gotta finish it, okay? Okay, now let's continue where I left off. Right before the end of last episode, the Green Team joined the Diamond Alliance and revealing to the world that the French Union has been genociding and rousing these civilians with guided missiles. Yeah, the French Union's reputation plummeted after that, but now we're gonna continue where we left off. The Green Team asks the Pink Team if they can go through their land to go help out in this push over here. And the Green Team, being scarred from their rule from when the Green Team ruled them, they don't want anything to do with the Green Team. So they reply, no. And the Green Team is like, okay, guess we're gonna do this the hard way. And the Pink Team is like, wait, what? And the Green Team starts invading the Pink Team, swiftly capturing their capital and any major cities they had here. And the Pink Team quickly surrenders. And now the Green Team asks the Yellow Team, hey, can we go through you? And the Yellow Team, seeing what the Green Team did to the Pink Team after they didn't comply, is going to let them go through. And the French Union is angry at this, so all the is going to make an invasion of the Yellow Team, because they are helping out the Green Team, and they swiftly capture a major city and the others, and now make a landing in Corsica. And also, this is being premiered, so hello live chat. I don't know what you're saying right now, but I hope you're not saying anything bad. And the Green Team, this angers them, and now they decide to make a push into the Yellow Team to try and free them. And they do capture the major cities, but then they reach the French Union stronghold over here. And now the Green Team is going to try to go around. And they go around here, capturing two major cities, and liberating this area of Slovenia, making a push to connect up with them. That works, and they capture a few major cities. So yeah, things are looking good for the Diamond Alliance ever since the Green Team joined back in. Well, not back in, they joined them. They were never part of it. Let's move on. Meanwhile, in the Americas, the Welsh decide to strike up a deal with the Slovenian rebel. My English is not Englishing today. The Welsh strike up a deal with the Slovenian rebellions, and the deal is that if they help them, they'll be guaranteed independence from the Welsh, and they might gain land from the French Union's colony. And they'll get economic support from the Welsh. And how could these guys say no to this? This is like a deal they wanted forever. And these guys are gonna swiftly agree. And these guys, the French, they hadn't anticipated the Slovenian rebellions they funded turning on them. And so, the French had let their guard down, and that was not good, because now the Slovenian rebellion has now officially fully liberated, well, I guess not liberated, controlled all the areas of the once Slovenian colony, Mm, and because of that, they are now going to make a push into the French Union's colony, capturing a major city and just going along the coast over here, meeting up with the Welsh military force here, encircling a large area of the French Union. This area is very populated, and the French Union would not like to lose that land, but it's already too late, as the Welsh have now, along with the Slovenians, completely cut off the French Union, and now are occupying this major area. And now the Welsh are pushing the French Union back a whole lot. And for some reason, Paint Dot that was lagging there for a moment, but now it's gone. And they capture a major city and swiftly making a spearhead to capture these two and another one and another one. And the American front for the French Union is starting to collapse. Back in Europe, or I guess Asia, the Russians are going to decide to start up a brand new counteroffensive in Caucasia. The plan is blitz through this undefended front over here, or resupply this front over here, or reach the Aral Sea, cut off this massive area, and capture as many major cities as possible. That's the Russian general's plan right now. And now they're going to try to execute it. And as planned, and the Russians blitz through this area, cutting it off immediately, and severing supply routes to this area, which basically is forcing the Crimeans, or I guess now the Ukrainians, to take over this front. So, the northern Azeris leave the Crimeans to that, but Russia doesn't care about Crimea right now. They are focused right now to take out the northern Azeris and then take out the Crimeans. And now Russia makes a landing over here, recapturing a lost area. And now a major military encirclement happens, and yeah, all of those troops are killed, since the northern Azeris have a policy of never surrender. And you'll see that might not work out for them as they might hope. But yeah, they continue to push in over here, and they capture two major cities, and they meet up with the Aral Sea and two major cities, and now they decide to blitz through this area to meet up over here, and that works out. And now the northern Azeris were losing previously gained ground with Russia, and now all the northern Azeris have been exiled to Russia. And yeah. Russia has officially fully kicked out the northern Azeris from their country, and now continue to push in. And the military of northern Azerbaijan is kind of in a shambles. The military does not want to listen, since they are losing so many previous comrades. So the military of northern Azerbaijan bails out. They don't want to fight for this stupid country anymore. Now it's just the National Guard here to defend us. And Russia's like, mission accomplished. So, yeah, things are starting to look good for the Diamond Alliance. But with every up, there's always a down. And the Crimeans are still pushing severely in Russia, capturing 3 major cities and 2 others. And now the capital of Russia is very close to getting captured. And this country here, now seeing that northern Azerbaijan is collapsing, they're like, well, it's free land. and they are going to now start invading in northern Azerbaijan. And northern Azerbaijan, they thought they were cool with these guys, but apparently they're not. And because northern Azerbaijan is such a bit of a tongue twister, I am going to now call them the Central Asian country. Yeah. But yeah, the Central Asian country had this area really undefended because they didn't think that these guys would do this. And they make a spearhead and capture a major city, and they encircle this area, and all the troops here flee over to Russia, which was a bad idea because they all die there. And yet, even more pushes are happening over here in northern Azerbaijan. And North Azerbaijan is like brick. Meanwhile, in Oceania, it's not looking good for the French as the Welsh capture this major city and blitz over through here, capturing this major area. And now the French have lost the front in Oceania, which means the Diamond Alliance has officially won a continent, that being Oceania. So, good for them. Small victory, but in their eyes, big victory. So, happy Diamond Alliance. Meanwhile, in Asia, the Koreans finally, after a really long siege, they managed to fully knock out the Siberians from the war. And the northern Japanese are now seeing the success, and they're like, wow, I guess this is the winning side. And if we join up with them, we might get some more land out of this. And you can probably see where this is going, but the northern Japanese officially joined the Diamond Alliance, seizing the opportunity of more land, and the Koreans promise that they'll give them more areas up here. And the northern Japanese are really content with that promise, and they are just hoping that Korea actually keeps that promises. But they keep that promise because I imagine Korea does not want an invasion through the Sea of Japan to the mainland. But yeah, with this new supply run from North Japan to Korea, Korea goes like through their wall, and they blitz through the defenses here. They're finding a weak spot, and they recapture this major city and this one, and now are starting to squeeze the Chinese out of Korea. And now begins the plan. It's kind of like a Schlieffen plan, but without needing to go through a country. But yeah, the Koreans plan to do a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And if they can do that, they might just seize the war with China and actually win it. So if the Korean generals can successfully pull off this, I guess I'm gonna call this the Korean Schlieffen plan. And if they can do this, they might just be able to topple China here, which is exactly what they want. So we'll see how that goes later. Meanwhile, the Serb, Bulgarian, and Albanian rebellions decide to sign a ceasefire with the Diamond Alliance, claiming that if they guarantee their sovereignty, they will send their troops to help out. And Moldavia is like, why are you doing this? Don't do that. That's because then they might capitulate me. So can you not do that? And the rebellions are like, screw off. And this is a heavy now this gives heavy breathing room for the Diamond Alliance, because now they have more troops to deploy in the fight against the French. And now, with more troops to spare, mm, the green team asks the red team if they can use the Balearic Islands the station ground and for a naval landing. And the red team, although they do not like the green team at all, seeing this as an opportunity to take down the French Union and the red team's biggest op, they allow them to use the Balearic Islands as a base for operations. And the green team is thankful of this, and now relations between the red team and the green team are finally starting to ease up. Yeah, well, with now a stationary ground, the green team sends an invasion of Catalonia, capturing a few major cities, and the French were not expecting this. They thought they had naval superiority, and then they found out the green team went around through the red team's military area, and they're like, so that's how that happened, huh? Fricky red team. And the green team is now holding major coastline over here in the French Union, and now with this newfound success, as the yellow team can finally pull their own weight, and they finally managed to recapture their lands. And why do I keep swearing so much? And now they let the green team pass through them, and yeah, the French Union has now lost all of their ground over here in the southern areas, so they are forced to pull out of Slovenia. Yeah. And Slovenia is very happy about this because now they can focus on that. And Slovenia is fairly powerful. Well, not so powerful, but powerful enough to carry their own weight. But then, something interesting happens in North America. The gold team just continues to push in, and in North America, like you'd expect, over here in Central America, same story. And then the French Union troops meet up with the Mexican troops. And then, for some odd reason, the Mexicans keep going. They're now fighting the French Union troops, and the French Union is like, hey, why are you doing this? And then the Mexicans leave the Circle Alliance. They leave it. And the French Union is like, why are you doing this? And they're like, we only needed your help to take down Scotland. Now, Scotland is crumbling. Even in the mainland, they're having major political instability. But now that we have that out of the way, you're still a colonizer here too, buddy. We are here to decolonize North America, except Ireland, because they actually treat their colonies nice, unlike you, bozo. And the French Union is enraged by this defiance by Mexico. But there is nothing the French Union is due, since they are busy with other fronts. That's like the South American one and the European one and the Oceanic one, which they already lost, but whatever. The Mexicans push the French Union into the border. And now Mexico starts to do some major pushes into the French Union's colony. And, as expected, the people living there welcome them with open arms, since, as the Mexicans theorized, they weren't treated very well by the French Union. And yeah, it ain't looking so good for the French guys. The Welsh, seeing this as an awesome opportunity, they go into old Scottish lands and trying to free Scotland's colonies, although they are in the same alliance. Scotland's like, why are you doing this? And they're like, hey, war is war. We have to do everything to try and survive. And Scotland is like, oh, fair. And Scotland is still crumbling. They take over this area, and they're like, hey, I know we are colonizers, but we actually treat our colonies good. And the Mexicans believe the Welsh. and they're like, just help us squeeze the French Union out of North America. Can you do that for us? And the Mexicans, they think about how the Welsh's request, and then they agree on that. And now begins the squeezing out of the French Union, and the Mexicans capture a major city, and the Welsh make another landing over here, and this whole front for the French Union, which at first seemed promising, now collapses, as the French Union has now all lost ground in all of major continents except South America and North America. But let's check up on South America, shall we? What's been going on there? Dear God, the Welsh have captured the last major city of the French Union. They also captured this area and lastly captured the last major settlement here. And the French Union have now also lost ground on their Argentinian colony. And like I said, the French Union does not treat their colonies well at all. So the Welsh are basically just walking through here with no problem. And now they lastly squeeze any last French soldiers or loyalists out of Tierra del Fuego and out the Falkland and the St. George and Sandwich Islands. And now the French Union has lost all of its ground in the New World. And this is a morale loss for the French Union, as now they are feeling that the main war is starting to fumble. But in the Scottish mainland, bad things are happening. Even more political stability is happening. It's getting so bad here that the citizens of Scotland threw out their government, but they don't know what to do. So Scotland is kind of in like an anarchist state. And the Welsh, being buddies with Scotland, is going to pull its military into military occupy Scotland and to help them out with this problem, because you wouldn't want to live in Scotland right now. And this isn't non-invasion, this is an occupation. And the Scottish government, and before they collapsed, they told Wales that if their country went to anarchists, they could send their military in there to occupy it until further notice. And the Welsh did exactly what Scotland asked of them. And I'd say that one of the best duos in my Wixo is Scotland and Wales. These guys are inseparable, but one of them may or may not be coming out of this war alive. And remember, it's also Scotland's colonies, not just the mainland. So Wales comes in and is now occupying two oceanic areas, West Australia and Southeast Australia. Wales is really living life right now, occupying two areas of Australia. What more could you want? Not occupying it, that's what, because occupying it takes up a lot of resources. Yeah. And then Ukraine is going to betray the Moldavians. And the Moldavians are like, "What? Why are you doing this? I thought we are buddies. I helped you and all." Well, you did invade me back when I was still a country. You and Russia both invaded me. And Moldavia's like, that was like 500 years ago. Just let it go. And Crimea's like, yeah, I could have, but then the French Union started genociding their people with missiles, and that's where we are like, yeah, we're out of here. When we get the perfect chance, we are gonna betray you. Oh, and Moldavia now feeling fooled, leaves the occupation of the Farmers Union and over to Prussia. But it's already too late for Moldavia. They are getting pushed from the north, and their capital is captured, and Moldavia collapses. The occupied areas here are going to be occupied by the Serbs now. So yeah, major events happening over here. But then, an event happens right now that could change the tide of war right now, and could probably spell doom for one side of the war. Or something, or someone, are going to change the tide of this war, and it's probably, most likely, maybe, or maybe not, spell doom for one side. The Turkic Union calls all of their allies in the square lines. The red team, India, and South China and South Azerbaijan. They don't invite Arabia. And Arabia doesn't even know this meeting is happening at all. So in this major city, the Turkic Union, the leader of the Square Alliance, is discussing if they should join World War I on their own side, on the side of the Diamond Alliance, or on the side of the Circles, and the South Azerbaijani leader doesn't care. They leave mid-meeting. So the Turks will remember that. They're not a big fan of that. But then they come to a decision. The red team, aka Iberia, India, South China, and the Turkic Union all come to a decision. The Turk, in a unanimous vote, have voted to help out none other than the Diamond Alliance in the war of liberation against the genocided the Turkic Union and its allies that agreed on this will not stand for genociding their own civilians just because they are a bit rowdy. So, the Turks, along with India, South China, and lastly, the red team as well. And the red team now finds itself in the alliance that had betrayed them all those years ago. But they let past beef slide in the name of anti-genocidal actions. And these nations, because they joined the Diamond Alliance, all declare war on the French Union. And Arabia now is like, yo, what the heck? Why didn't you invite me to this meeting or whatever you did to talk about this? Why didn't you discuss this with me? I'm second in command in this alliance. Shouldn't I get invited to any sort of conferences like this? And the Turkic Union then laughs in their face. The leader is laughing maniacally. And then the Turkic Union shows some files to the world showing that Arabia considers all of their allies except South Azerbaijan as expendable, and that they would throw them away when they were no longer useful, aka they were going to betray say, for example, the Turkic Union, if they started to quote unquote lose, and when the Turkic Union shows these files to the world is disgusted at Arabia's actions. They keep on betraying their allies, and Arabia, enraged at the Turkic Union showing these files, are now going to form or nothing. They are going to just make an anti-Turkic Union coalition because they declare war on the Turkic Union. And South Azerbaijan does the exact same thing. World War I has now reached its climax. But if I were me, I'd end this right now and make a part 3, and then part 4 would be the peace treaty, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to keep making content for you all and have the end of the war be in this episode and the peace treaty. So, let's continue on. Egypt wastes why can't I say that word? Wastes, finally. Egypt wastes no time in changing sides of the war. The hatred that Egypt has as for the Turkic Union and any Line Team descendants is insane. But yeah, Egypt is going to join Arabia's coalition against the Turkic Union. Arabia is now flooding troops into this front line. And though the Turkic Union had anticipated this when and they showed the files to the world, so they can't get that far. But they hadn't anticipated Azerbaijan siding with Arabia because yeah, South Azerbaijan is pretty powerful. Well, back when Azerbaijan was one unified state, South Azerbaijan was the bulk of it. North Azerbaijan was contributing, but not a lot. The South Azeris are pushing in, but not much because the Turkic Union is the strongest nation in the world right now. Interestingly enough, right as India joins the Diamond Alliance, and Bangladesh leaves the Circle Alliance. I wonder what that is. Maybe that meeting the leaders had might have something to do with that. Meanwhile, in Africa, the Arabians immediately flood thousands of troops to the front line with Kenya. And yeah, so far so good. They make it to Lake Victoria and completely surround it. And yeah, things are not looking good for Kenya, but they are getting supplied a whole lot, and thus they can then make some minor pushbacks. Only minor. They are not near Arabia's military strength. But actually, I'll save that for later. Just you wait. Meanwhile, in the front with the bulk of the French Union, it makes a push over here, cutting off this offensive, but it doesn't stop it because as now the green team is using the red team as a place to go in and invade. And they cut off connection with Galicia, and Galicia's cooked here. I'm gonna spare you the details because this video is getting so long, but yeah. Galicia is out of here, and now these guys are now pushing in from behind and making even more naval landings over here. And now the French Union and civilians that were not genocided are starting to get demoralized over here. And the French Union is gonna make a move. They are going to move into the Belgian territories of the Red Team that they still have for some reason, and they are going to set up a puppet government here to now separate them away from the Red Team. And the Red Team doesn't like that because they were pulling lots of resources from here. But now it's too late. The French Union has cut off their supply line, and now they have centered. But now the Green Team has now solidated. If that's even a word. And the front over here into one. And now things are looking pretty slim for the French Union actually coming out of this alive. But bad news for the Diamond Alliance because this just happened, and now Russia is starting to collapse. And major rebellions start popping out of nowhere over here, and I'm not going to I'm going to show them. There's like a northern rebellion over here, or there's a Finnish rebellion over here, and there are plenty more. I'm going to only draw the major ones, but yeah, there's a massive one over here. This is the biggest movement here, and Russia signs peace agreements with all of the rebellions here, with the condition that they are allowed to live. And the rebellions agreed to this, but on one condition, that the old Russian country here will be restored, or it's the same one here, just with a different government. And the government right now of the Russian country, they want a better future for this country, so reluctantly they are going to accept pulling in Russia out of the war. But right before this happened, in the northern Azeris, had actually surrendered over to Russia. They had no chance of winning this, let's be real here. And then the Circle Alliance will add a brand new member. The southern Japanese country joins the Circle Alliance in hopes of accumulating all Japanese lands and to make one Japanese country. But these guys made a major mistake doing that. You want to know why? Because Korea was sending lots of stuff over here. So these guys are like same in strength, but now North Japan has the technology of the Koreans, and the South Japanese didn't know that, and when they found that out, it was too late. And the North Japanese blitzed through South Japan and capitulate the country within days. And China is like, holy. Meanwhile, in Vietnam, Bangladesh is going to start an invasion of the country to seek expansion and for other purposes, and China swiftly follows this, and now Vietnam, they didn't think they were happening. They thought they were cool with these guys, but nope, they are not. And since Vietnam hadn't anticipated this, it's pretty over for them. Though they do hold out in the jungles, the South Chinese make a landing and they capture the capital, and now they occupy all this area, bringing Vietnam out of the war. Vietnam, although they were strong, they were proven to be pretty weak here, as it only took two countries to take them down, which just exposes that lies can be deceptive even if they seem real. And then the Welsh make a landing, in Normandy, capturing some major cities. And the green team continues on with their offensive in the south of France. And then, slowly but surely, the French are starting to get squeezed out their territory, and now the Welsh make a landing in Brittany. And now it's pretty over for the French, as this area falls to the Welsh. But the puppet government is still here, but the Welsh decide to not bother with that. And now, with defeat from both sides, the Welsh and a green team split the capital of the French Union evenly, knocking out the leader of the Circle Alliance from this war. The red team is ecstatic. They waited for this moment ever since the end of the Great European War. And the green team is also happy about this because they didn't like the French Union intruding on their business being the Great European War. But yeah, the French Union is gone. It'll likely never exist again. So, to your die-hard French Union fans, I'm looking at you, Laser Taze. Yeah. Sorry. And now India starts their offensive into Azerbaijan. And India, I would say, is overall stronger than Azerbaijan. They have a better military, though South Azerbaijan does have better economy and stability, I believe. India's military is one of the greatest in the world, so the southern Azeris, these are completely outmatched here. And they decide to go through the northern Azeris, and now they are making a naval landing over here. And yeah, it's pretty much over for the southern Azeris, as now a rebellion starts to brew up in South Azerbaijan, as the original Persian country rebels away from Azerbaijan, now consolidating into one large mass, as they decide to work together with the Indians and to capitulate wrong color. This is color. I don't know why that is green, but yeah, it's pretty much over for the Azeris. As now the Persians that were suppressed here have now risen up to the occasion, and now, South Azerbaijan is, why does that happen? Can you stop doing that? Oh, thank you. And the Eastern Front falls, and the military of South Azerbaijan is in shambles. So now the Turkic Union pushes the Azeris fully out of their country. And now they make an offensive into southern Azerbaijan. And why does that keep happening? Now, working together with the Indians, South Azerbaijan falls. All that is, as it's now being occupied by India and the Turkic Union. And now there are only two people left that are fighting against the world right now. That being Arabia and China. Oh, and Egypt too, I guess, but yeah. I don't know how Egypt thought that would go well at all, but yeah, Egypt is gone. Also, one thing to note, Slovenia doesn't have all of this land back. I'm just coloring it in to make it more simple for you viewers. But in reality, the the green team is actually occupying like all of this. So when the peace treaty does come, Slovenia will not be able to get any of these lands back because they technically did not earn it. I mean, but yeah, these guys have also now signed a ceasefire with Prussia. So now Prussia is now done with this war. The Diamond Alliance signed a peace treaty with them. So because the Diamond Alliance, those resources are depleted. Yeah, they have nearly run out of those. So yeah, they just needed to peace out. Which now leaves Arabia and China. Now let's see how Korea's Schlieffen plan went. So, it went well. They cut off this area, which is actually pretty pro-Korean, believe it or not. This area wanted to be a part of Korea really badly, but they never had the courage to form a rebellion or to stand up to China. So these guys just welcomed them with open arms, weirdly enough. And Korea's even surprised like this. They're like, oh. Now China is falling apart because the citizens are kind of tired of them. This war has been exhausting for every one of the citizens. And southern China pushes in really efficiently over here, the citizens go to the capital, and right as Korea is on the doorsteps of it, they overthrow the government and install a new one on. Well, that's what they hope to happen. Why is that happening? Okay, I don't know what just happened there. But yeah, they don't manage to overthrow the government, and so instead, they now rise up over here in the west, and now these areas also welcome them with open arms. And well, yeah, it's over for China. They have there's no shot they win this, guys. So to any China fans out there, I'm sorry for your loss, because now the Chinese capital is donezo, and now China officially surrenders over to the Diamond Alliance. And then one. Arabia is the last country on not the Diamond Alliance side. And frankly, the world is tired of them. So now most countries are going to start funding the opposing countries to Arabia heavily. Like so much to the point that Kenya can fully kick out the Arabians from their country, and are now pushing them in to the Somali and Ethiopian lands, where people from the old brown Somali country are happy that Kenya is here, although they did invade them. They are happy that Kenya is here because, they don't like being under Arabia. So this area is just a this area is just a walkthrough for Kenya. Although Arabia's military is insane and everyone is supplying Kenya like crazy, so they can afford to do things like this. And then they do this, and now Arabia has lost all of their African land. The Turks now fully kick out Arabia from their country, and now they start to invade Arabia themselves. preferably going along the coast because they don't want to fight through the desert. And they make it all the way down here and are now going along the coast from both sides, cutting this area of Arabia off and making a landing in the UAE. And now, if you remember in episode 23.5, Arabia did not appear at all in the stability list because their stability is practically horrible. Their country is so unstable that Arabia has also been doing genocides, but not with missiles, just regular genocides. And it gets to the point where everyone is tired of you. So when you see Yemen and Oman revolting from Arabia, you now know why Arabia was not even close on the stability ranking. Because, yeah, their stability is horrendous. You gotta admire how horrible their stability is. It's practically impressive how bad their stability is. But yeah, these rebellions consolidate into one, and Arabia is now getting invaded from all sides. And India makes a landing in the tip of Oman, capturing some more major cities. And then the Turkic Union makes a landing in Qatar, and then consolidates all this giant front into one, capturing every major city left that isn't in the desert. And now the Turkic Union captures the capital of Arabia. Yeah. And now Arabia does not surrender, and begrudgingly the Turkic Union goes into the desert, or capturing all the major cities left. And now Arabia has now capitulated over to the Turkic Union. And the war has been won. Many nations are probably going to be dead or very fractured. But yeah, let's take a look at this peace treaty. And this is going to take me a long while to draw. So be prepared. And that peace treaty took a long time to draw up, but this is the new world map. Get used to it because this looks very different to what we used to have. Looks unrecognizable. Well, you can still recognize some bits, but like 70% of this map is unrecognizable. So let's start off in the new world. Here in the Americas, as the Welsh decide to annex these areas as of the old French and Scottish colonies. And they get at the rest of Cuba and the Yucatan, so yeah, good for them. And now Mexico is really large, and they have managed to release all of these brand new countries, which there are 8 of them. First off, we have Brown, Texas, and I guess it's like Colorado, Kansas. I think this is Kansas. We have signed Kansas. This is Nebraska, Arkansas, California, Oregon, Washington, and then Wyoming. And now we have British Columbia or Alaska. And now we have 4 new countries down over here. We have West Nicaragua, East Nicaragua. We have a Honduras country and a Costa Rican country. I dedicated this country specifically to Central America, aka Baltico. Well, I wanted to make a large Costa Rican country to honor them. But yeah, that's about it for North America. Now down here, the Slovenian colonies got their independence, and as promised, this guy was expanded a bit. This guy didn't get expanded because they couldn't, but they are okay with that. And 4 new countries are made out of the old French colony. I guess this is like I I don't know what I would call this, but this is like Santa Catarina. This is Uruguay, and this is Argentina, respectively. And now to Oceania. In Oceania, the treaty was pretty simple. Wales annexes the Scottish and the French colonies that are now no longer here. Pretty simple. The red team actually had claims to the Scottish colony, but they decided to let them go, as they have big enough colonies as it is. Here in East Asia, Korea is massive now. China is split in two, and South China is now true China, as they've now expanded a bunch. Japan is now united. Korea made a puppet state up here because they didn't want all that land. These two guys were expanded into Siberian land, and Bangladesh expanded a whole lot into Vietnam. Now they look kind of like actual Vietnam. And now India is massive. This Persian country is massive. Azerbaijan is tiny. And there are plenty of new and maybe familiar faces over here in Central Asia. And the Turkic Union is occupying the Arabian capital. This is a puppet state because no one lives there. And yeah, Kenya expanded a bit more, and some new countries popped up over here, formed actually. And I'm now realizing that I forgot to put a capital to this country, so my bad. I'll do that after I finish recording. And Russia has been split into pieces. The original Russian country is back, so that's cool. Well, Crimea has now gained their independence. They also signed ceasefires. And Moldavia is this. Some new countries dotted around here and there. Massive Siberian country. And here's the mess that is the French Union. This is not allowed to exist. If it ever forms again, and it'll have to be Thanos snapped. And Wales took over Scotland because that collapsed. And the puppet state that used to be here now isn't a puppet state and now has its own regime. Prussia is now enlarged again. Prussia is back and made a puppet state out of Germany and annexed half of Czechia. The other half went to Slovakia, which I'm not going to call Hungary because they look like Hungary. Bulgaria is back. Serbia is back. Slovenia, although they lost their Italian lands, they gained some land out of Croatia. Croatia is small. A new country has popped up over here. The pink team no longer exists, and the yellow team does not look like they started over in Spain, I'll tell you that much. And the gold team over here is back for the trillionth time. The Turkic Union annexes Egypt. I forgot to erase the capital. Actually, I could knock out two birds with one on stone and just move this capital over to here for this country. So, hooray! Compromise! And now the Turkic Union is massive. It's now the strongest country in the world, but it can now be rivaled because now it's now gonna be revealed to you guys that India and Bangladesh are gonna unite under one singular flag. That's right, the Indian Union is here. I'm not going to call this the Indian Union, I'm just going to call this country the Raj, because they look like a Raj. India and Bangladesh have been scheming to do this for a while, as you can see. They're going to move their capital over in this city over here. And yeah, that is it for now. Thank you guys so much for watching World War I. You better get used to this map, because although it looks way different than what it used to be, I sense that there will be fun things happening with this map. And now the two strongest countries in the world are Turkic Union and the Indian Union. So, goodbye. As always, I'll see you guys on the flip side. See you in episode 26. Goodbye.